There's a brand new analyst covering Fubo stock, and guess what? We've got him on the channel today so that you guys can meet him, you guys can interact with him in the comments section. This is a great opportunity for all of us, anybody that's interested in Fubo stock or already invested in Fubo stock. So this is something that you're not going to want to miss, so stick around because we're going to be starting right now. Hey, what's going on? It's Pat from Top Ticker Trades. If you're new here and you want to learn how to use stocks and options to make your portfolio go parabolic, make sure you start now by subscribing and tapping that bell so you never miss an upload. What is going on, Ticker family? We're back. It's Saturday and Chris is here, and I know what you're thinking, but it's not Sunday. Why is Chris over there? Because we decided to do it on a Saturday. If you got a problem with that, you can answer to Chris or let him know straight up. Chris, if they got a problem with it, can they address it with you?
No, sir, Pat. I don't want that drama, you know.
He don't want that drama, so you guys can't address it with anybody.
I read some of your comments, man. I don't want any part of these guys.
That's just MVIS people. Everybody else is nice to me because they love me, Chris, but the MVIS crowd hates me.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to, start anything or say anything disrespectful about the MVIS people because I know that they love you. That's your family now. I know you guys are all cool and stuff. Some of the MVIS people are cool, but they still may not like me or be happy with me. So should we talk about Fubo first?
Yeah, let's start off easy.
Okay, Fubo. So to all my Fubo people, my Fubo followers, you know what? This is the official Fubo channel, as I've told you so many times, and we report everything that happens with Fubo, or we report on everything that happens with Fubo. So if I didn't report this sooner, forgive me, but we've got somebody new here that's covering Fubo, or we got a new analyst covering Fubo. His name is Chris. Chris, tell my Fubo fam what's up.
Yeah, Pat, we have started Fubo about a week or two ago, and I'm doing something a little different. I am going to allow the viewers an inside view on how I put together the data, the model, and generate a stock price. Usually I come out and I take a look at it and I go behind the scenes and I develop targets and I just kind of hit them with a number. But I say, you know what, a lot of people, I start looking at all over YouTube, all over the internet, and I saw so many people saying this stock to the moon, that stock to 100, this stock to 500, and so many of them were getting away with it. And I say, you know what? I think that's misleading. I know it's entertainment, but some people do act on it. I'll never be that guy. So I'm going to just show these guys what goes into developing a target price. And that way they won't be sucked in by a pump and dump strategy or someone who's just trying to develop clickbait or anything of that nature. And I think once they view this series, and they're very small. I broke it up. If you remember, I did Bulls and BS on MVIS, and
Yes, sir.
I got crucified for putting out 2 45-minute videos. So I said, you know what? I'm going to divide this one into bite-sized pieces. They're 5, 6, 10 minutes long. I just released video 6, finishing up the financial statements. We are about to get into some math. And I wanted to warn her and say, hey, some of this a little hairy. So if you kind of got a weak stomach, skip part 7. And it's really for the beginner, Pat. It's for someone who doesn't know what they don't know. So I just want to expose them to it so they won't be at risk. Because it is some people take advantage of it.
So, Chris, can we get any guidance as to when, the more advanced trader can come in on your series and start listening to the videos or watching the videos?
Part 7 is where you would pick up. If you know a little bit about stocks already, know a little bit about this company, you can start at part 7 because that's when the quote bloodshed starts. That's when we start throwing around Greek alphabet numbers and X's and Y's and variables and square roots and cube roots and whatever. So part 7 will be for the experienced investor. But if you're just curious and you say, hey, I want to know how they get to this price. How do I know if a stock is overvalued or cheap? What do they mean? a cheap stock and expensive stock actually has nothing to do with the price it's trading at. So a lot of people don't know that. So, this is an opportunity to get in and see it from the ground up. And when I say ground up, I start from ground zero. So we go through the 10K, we go through the competition, the market, the industry, the sector, where it's going, TAM, the whole 9 yards. So it is real slow, but they actually can go and binge watch 1 through 6 tonight.
So, Chris, if I understand correctly, what you're telling me is that if I see a stock that's priced at, let's say, $10, it could be cheaper, it could be expensive. There's no way for us to know.
If you're looking straight ahead at it, there is no way to determine until you get in and analyze it. So a lot of people, I run into this with NYSE. They, some people are bullish, some people are bearish, and I always say I'm bearish, but you have to give that caveat and say I'm bearish at this price. I feel like it's expensive. I like the company. I like what it's going. I think it's, one of the best speculative plays out. And if you don't believe me, you just ask somebody who got in last year how it's working out for them. And they'll tell you they're working out great. If they're not retired, they will be pretty soon. If they're, they got enough shares. But there is no way to tell looking at it. I mean, you can look at Berkshire Hathaway. Yeah, they are expensive looking on the outside. But when you look at the value and the return you get, that's where the real value is. So what I do is I want to take them behind the scenes and just kind of protect them. I think I mentioned on this one, I want to be the only YouTuber that doesn't have any subscribers ever get caught up in a bubble or a pump and dump strategy. Because a lot of these pumpers already have a position and then they make a video, you fall into it, they cash out with your money. And that rubs me the wrong way. A lot of people may think that's hating, but I want to get rich like the next guy, but I'll never get it at your expense.
You know what? That makes a whole lot of sense, and it really makes sense to me because I know you, and I know that what you're saying is the truth. And I've also seen your models. I've experienced firsthand how accurate they are, even though I've got to make a small confession, and I think I've made this confession in one of the MVIS videos that we collabed on together, where I said, this had to do with Neo. You made a model on Neo, and at the time it was trading at a higher valuation than it deserved. And I remember, I think I sent you a text message, and there was some news that came out, and I said, hey, I'm thinking about going, adding to my position. Should I do it right now? What do you have this priced at? And you told me, no, hold up, Pat. This is what it's worth. This is where it's at right now. And thank goodness you said that. But at the time I was thinking, man, I'm going to still add because I'm stubborn. I don't always listen. But I'm glad that I listened that day, Chris, because
it's still right there to this day.
It's still there.
It's still there. I mean, a lot of people, I mention it all the time. Go back and look at the first video. I'm on video 46 probably. You look at the very first video I dropped on Neo, and I gave him a price target. That price target is still good today. 46 videos later. I don't delete anything. I stand by everything I put out there, and they can go run the tape. I mean, I told them Neo wasn't going over 100 this year. I stated my case. There's actually one way they can get there, but outside of that, it hadn't moved. And I've seen so many people saying Neo to 500, Neo to 400, and I just kind of keep scrolling like, man, I hope doesn't anybody get hurt. So,
yeah.
But there's nothing wrong with saying it if you're going to back it up. So when I give out my target price for Fubo, it'll be backed up, and not only will it be backed up, you'll know how I got there because we're going to get there together. Me and all the viewers, we're going to go together. Right now it's a small 100-person classroom, so I'm able to give detailed attention to them. It's kind of like my little pet project. So,
and Chris, you pretty much answer or respond to all of the comments. You even put out your email address for these guys. Do you?
Yeah, they could email me. I mean, within reason. I'm not going to get in an argument. Models are just that. They are estimates. And, we all know estimates are just a collection of data that reduces uncertainty. But it can kind of guide you in a dark place. Sometimes you need a little light, and those models are there to help you, not get hurt, because a lot of people hate losing more than they like winning. So
That's true.
uh,
That's true.
that's kind of my philosophy, and it's just all about protecting them, enlightening them, and you could easily charge these guys for this, but the more people in the market, the more people that understand the market, the more efficient the market becomes. And that's one reason it's so much volatility in the market, because you have so many people that have no idea where this stock is. And any little thing happen, they jumping all over the place, selling, buying, shorting, longing. I think the more people that understand markets, understand volatility, understand treasury yields, is better off for everybody. So I'm just doing my little part, even if it's just the 100 of us over there right now. That makes a difference. So I sleep well at night.
And just so you guys are clear, so Chris has a model built out for any stock that he covers, and if the slightest thing happens in the market, okay, the slightest change, he updates his model, okay, to consider the changes that came into effect, and he can update the price, okay, so he can tell you, okay, all right, this stock is worth this much, so Fubo's worth, $30 or $25, whatever the case may be, based off of, this news that just came out. So he'll be able to do that. He'll be able to do that quickly. And of course, Chris gives me the info, the 411, as soon as it goes down. So I'll be able to update you guys. But at the same time, I want you guys to sub to his channel. And if you take a look at the description, or in the description, you'll be able to find a link to his channel. He's going to be covering Fubo from now on. He's been covering Fubo. He's got several videos out right now. But, he's a fundamental guy, and I can't say the same about myself. I do look at fundamentals. I do consider them, heavily in my price targets and when I talk to you guys about the stock. But Chris is strictly fundamental, and he considers all, every bit of news that comes out that could possibly or potentially affect the share price of the company. He's going to update his model, and he'll put a video out and kind of break it down for you guys. So if you guys are subscribed to both, because I know a lot of my subscribers actually, subscribe to me because of Fubo, because of my Fubo coverage. So I want you guys, those of you, and you know who you are, to go ahead and pause the video, take a look in the description, go ahead and sub to Chris's channel. It's going to be extremely valuable for you guys, okay? Especially if you're investing in Fubo long term. And, I've got a little bit of a responsibility here, so I'm going to have to address you guys due to the recent price action. So I know Fubo's trading at about $19 right now, somewhere around there. And I know a lot of you guys, and I've spoken to a lot of you guys in the comments, and a lot of you guys are probably struggling with Fubo right now and wondering, should you sell and move on to something else? Should you continue holding? So I feel like I should tell you what I'm doing with Fubo. And, what I'm doing with Fubo is exactly what I've been doing with Fubo. Nothing has changed. Like I've told you from day one, I would love for this thing to go down to $1. I don't care how low it goes. I want it to go even lower, because I'm going to continue loading the boat. If you are investing in this company, then that tells me that you're not planning to sell anytime soon. You're not planning to sell next week or tomorrow or even next month. You're planning to hold for several years. Usually we're talking about 5 years on out. So if you're doing that, you're going to win no matter what, or at least in my opinion, because I feel like this is a solid company. I feel like this company has a lot of potential. You've got to ignore the media, okay? The best example I can give you of that, and I've covered it on my channel, is Rich Greenfield, okay? Think about the connections that this man has. He gets on CNBC, he hates on Fubo, he tries to get the price of Fubo to literally get just destroyed. We've seen him succeed with that. The time that we have seen him succeed with that was when the shareholder lockup expiration period was, coming around. This guy was coming up with every excuse in the book for you guys to dump Fubo. So I put a video out on it, and I kind of roasted him. And the way that we, can tell that this guy isn't real and he's pretty much a phony is because everything that he's predicted has not come to fruition, and because when you confront him on his Twitter, which is the platform of choice for him, he'll put out a bunch of bunk or bogus info. And then when you address him with something that's legitimate, like a legitimate concern with what he's putting out there, he doesn't respond to you. He blocks your ass, and you're never going to be able to address him with that info or
so
address.
I'm sorry, Pat. Does he put any back up any of this with any kind of research or guidance? Because Fubo TV will be the first model and probably the only one that I put out to the public. So a lot of these guys, they won't have to listen to what anybody says. They can go to their own model. When I take this class, so to speak, and I'm using air quotes, they can develop this model with me and have it for free. And we know how valuable it is. I always tell you, Pat, we don't have to wait on Wall Street to open. We got our own models built.
That's true.
We have a model built, and I won't follow a company until I build a model. And that's just one of the, that's why I don't come on and talk about every stock under the sun. Buy this, we doing this, and this one's going to the moon. I only speak about stocks that I study and I know inside and out. So if you have any Fubo guys in here that want to build their own models, they always wanted to know how to do it. I know a lot of people have it, and you don't have to follow mine, but please follow a YouTuber that has one. Because so many people have so many ideas, and when I put the matrix out there, it'll be based on your idea of where the economy is going. So if you have someone who's very bullish, I have a 50% CAGR for you. If you're not as bullish, I have a 10% CAGR for you. I will put this model out and all of this data for various price points. You can email me yours. I'm going to start at 10, 20, 30, 40, all the way to 100. But if you have a listener right now who want to know what a 17.35 CAGR looks like, we can punch that in. I can email that right to him. So they follow it, they can build their own, and they can have it, and then they can adjust it. So if Powell comes out and says, I'm raising interest rates, they can go right to their Excel spreadsheet, type in the new interest rate, and get a new share price immediately. Or the beta changes or anything changes. Right now we're on part 7. Dealing with a lot of the calculations to get the model points put in. So it'll be a good time for an advanced investor to get in there, and they'll have it at their disposal. So again, if you have Excel and you want to build your own with me, that's the place to be. You don't have to rely on what anybody's telling you on Twitter or what these fakes book or groups or what's that one room, Reddit, Reddit room. Get your own build. I'm putting it out there for free. You can have it as a courtesy. We'll be following this stock for, it's a growth stock, so we'll be in it for a while.
For a long while. And Chris, right before you started explaining that, I was actually going to have you explain to them, that this will operate based off of their own assumptions, at least in part, because they'll be able to make assumptions on, different factors that are going to, I guess, determine what the ultimately what the share price will be at the end. So, what about those people that aren't comfortable with making assumptions?
You have to be. If you're not comfortable making an assumption, you may need to go into an index fund, because when you do individual stock selections, you have to. And everybody's a different kind of expert. I hate to keep picking on NVIS, but what I do is financial spreadsheets and models and, financial statements. But you know how important it is for someone to understand LiDAR and be an expert in that field. But maybe they're not an expert in financial analysis. So maybe you're just needing the financials to go with it. You already know who's going to win in the industry. You know what the outcome is going to be. You just need to know the stock price to coincide with it. So let's say you're a TV industry guru and you say, I know who's going to win. I know who's going to have 50% of this market share. I just need to know what the stock price is that reflects that. So I'll have the numbers based on how you feel about market share, compound annual growth. And you got to have some kind of estimate about the economy. I'll have mine. You'll have yours. And I mentioned this in another video, but that's what makes stock investing fun, because everybody has, different assumptions about economic outlook. Because if we all had the same economic outlook, there wouldn't be no stock.
Exactly.
All the stock would never fluctuate because everybody know the right price. It's like gold. Once gold is at a certain price, it doesn't move. I mean, that's the price. So stocks are different. Everybody has upper and lower control limits based on if I own Clorox and I want to buy till 20. Somebody's out there saying buy to 22, and some people only buying to 18. So we all, made different. We all have different risk tolerances. So that's the beauty of it. You can get in where you're comfortable at. My buy-in at MVIS is well known at $4.98 or something. So when they come down in my comfort zone, I'm going to jump on them. But until then, I'm going to stand on the sideline and root from afar. I am rooting for them. I've been following them, and everybody wants them to do well. I don't think anybody wants them to fail, but I just want to see more.
To be clear, on Fubo, you do kind of, or whenever you're making your videos, you've got your model up and you kind of show them what your assumptions are for those that are...
Right. This one, I usually do not do that. I used to just come out with one price and just kind of explain it. But I want to be more inclusive. I want people to kind of understand where this stock is. And then I figured out early on in YouTube, it is better to have conversation with intelligent people.
Right.
And those conversations tend to go better. And I learned early on, you don't want to get into a shouting match with somebody who knows nothing. So I think I learned a lot in my comment section as much as someone would learn watching my content. I go and I read the comments for education. A lot of these guys are experts. They just probably flunked finance. I passed finance, obviously, but I flunked everything else. So as far as like the technicals go. So we are a good combination. I learned from them. A lot of my content come out of the comment section and say, hey, you didn't think about this. And I'm like, you know what? I didn't. Let's address it. So, and we go back and forth, and it turns into kind of a family storytelling atmosphere where we all just kind of grow and learn and feed off each other. So those are kind of conversations I want to be in. I've had conversations with guys who couldn't spell stock, so you don't want to do that. So I kind of opened up a little bit and get everybody engaged and everybody kind of feeling like they're a part of it.
Well, Chris, it sounds like that's a learning environment, and it sounds exactly like the type of environment that anyone that's getting into this for the first time, or even those that have been into it that, want a little bit of extra support, extra help. Because like Chris said, you may be an expert at one thing, or you may have strong convictions for one aspect of what the company's doing, but you're not going to be an expert at all of it. So that's kind of where we all chip in, so to speak, and kind of put all of our expertise to good use. Does that sound about accurate?
Absolutely. You could not believe you would need a technical manual to navigate through some of these comments on MVIS.
Oh, Lord.
Some of these guys, I just had to tell them, Pat, you need to be on the earnings call because I want you to ask some of these questions because, wow, I was blown away. I mean, I learned so much I did not know anything about lottery. And my thing is, I want to tell your listeners, I do not own any other companies that I cover. So a lot of people say, oh, you're a bear, you're a bull, I hope you got your position. No, I am not in any fashion. And by nature, I want the company to do well and perform well. I don't want any company to go. Who wants to go bankrupt? So I want them to do well, and I've invested a couple of months of research in you. I don't want that to go in the trash the next day because you're insolvent. So I want them to do well by default. I'm not in them, so I'm independent. I do have an opinion on Fubo already, but I want to wait till the end, the crescendo, so I will sit on that. But I'm kind of telling you right now, Pat, I'm already leaning one way, and if you can look at me right now, you could tell, but the audience can't.
Yes, I can, and I know what your opinion is, but I think we're going to keep these guys...
We talk a lot off the record, though.
We do, and you guys can't get that coverage. I'm sorry. That's for me to know and you guys to find out. I mean, how else can we get you guys to watch our YouTube channels? I mean, there has to be some suspense, something But you guys know that I'm a bull. You guys know that I support Fubo no matter what. I'm still in it to win it. I still haven't sold a single share. I am still using stock options to hedge my position and also to acquire more shares, just as I've explained in the previous videos. And anybody that's been following me for, a good little while will know exactly what that entails. If you're new, if you need me to review that or make a separate video on it, perhaps my old ones need to be updated or something. I don't know. If you want to see it done on a different platform, maybe, whatever the case may be, let me know down in the comments below. I am more than happy to do that for you guys. And as a matter of fact, I've already been working on recording some videos that have to do with options and different option strategies. I have not published them yet because I'm working on an entire series. Okay, and I didn't want these to kind of get lost in the sauce with me posting videos here and there. I wanted to make sure that I get the entire series complete and kind of, be posting or publishing each video on a consistent basis. But as you guys know, or the ones that know me or know my channel or are familiar with my channel, you guys know I'm a single father, and sometimes it gets tough. Sometimes I'm limited for time, so I can't get out everything that I want to get out in a timely fashion. So with this, especially using options and option strategies, they can be risky if you don't know what you're doing, and options can be very tempting. Let's say you use an option strategy. It's very easy to, I got to be very careful in how I word this. I'm going to say this. With options, it can appear that it's very easy to make money, a lot of money, very quickly. And when I say a lot of money, I mean based on how much money you put in, you can make a lot of money, a lot more money in comparison to, you investing in stocks. That ratio there is very attractive for using options. So I don't want to put any partial information out there and you guys start operating under your own assumptions because I take too long to release the rest of the information. So it just makes me feel more comfortable, like I'm not failing you guys, because I don't want anybody here losing money. And believe me, you guys have time, no need to rush. We still have plenty of time. One thing that I am doing is loading the boat on Fubo. I'm not just piling every dollar that I have into Fubo. But what I am doing, as I said, if I sell an option and I've got some extra money, I'm gonna go ahead and buy more Fubo shares. So I'm averaging down on my cost basis. At the same time, I've still got options to hedge. Those options that I'm selling reduce my my overall cost basis anyway, allow me to add more shares. So I'm doing much better than the average person that's just buying shares and holding. But there's still nothing wrong with just buying and holding, because we're gonna have to expect rough things to happen in this market. You're gonna have to assume that at some point the market's gonna come down for one reason or another, and you want to hold through those times and keep adding. You don't want to sell at the lows and then be trying to scramble to buy back in when the market starts going back up. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't have a magic crystal ball. We can't predict the future. Anybody that tells you that we can or that they can is, well, they're lying. Look, I'm going to be practical here and I'm going to be straight up honest. Nobody knows that. So we're doing the best that we can. We're using strategy, and these strategies do work well over time, and they allow you to win over time and come out with profit. But, the overall, the big picture here is that you have to be patient. A lot of new investors, new people getting into the stock market, they have a hard time understanding that, and there's several reasons. Number one, a lot of the new guys that are getting into stocks, they happened to, catch the market while everything was pretty much flying high. So they saw all these gains coming in a short period of time, and at the same time, they then later saw all the same growth stocks taking a hit. They were freaking out, didn't know what to expect, and everybody begins to panic and sell off. So I'm kind of here to tell you guys not to do that. What happened in the market last year was a pretty unique situation. I think we're going to finish the year off, pretty strong. So I would encourage you guys to remain in the market. I'm going to encourage you guys to stay away from margin. This is just advice that I've been giving over time on my channel. Don't get over leveraged. That's the only thing that's really going to hurt you. But as long as you're responsible with your investing, and as long as you're not overdoing it, investing money that you can't afford to lose, or investing more money than you can afford to invest, you're going to be in pretty good shape. It really doesn't matter if the stock goes down while you're holding it. It doesn't matter whatsoever. Just keep putting money into it consistently. As long as you believe in the company, of course. You don't lose until you press that sell button. But if you're leveraged, that's a whole other story. If you're leveraged, then none of this applies to you, because if you're leveraged, you can possibly lose money because your brokerage will start selling stocks off. So all the rules change when you start using margin, and that becomes very risky, especially to somebody who doesn't understand how margin works. Okay, so if any of you guys that are new, my recommendation right now is for you to stay away from margin completely. You're going to make more money not using margin than you would by using margin right now, because I guarantee you it doesn't matter how good you think you are at this. If you're just starting out, there's still a lot you have to learn, and I learned that lesson the hard way when I first started, and a lot of people did. A lot of people will tell you that. There's really not much else for me to report on Fubo. I just wanted to take this opportunity to introduce you guys to Chris and let you know to subscribe to his channel, because he's going to have financial models up on Fubo, which will let you guys know, based off of his assumptions, where what the price target is. And of course, just like we said, or Chris mentioned earlier, you can update those price targets with your own assumptions and come out with a different price target based on what you think is going on. So
instantly.
Instantly.
That's one of the biggest, most asked questions that I get over the years. Is how do analysts know so fast what the target price is? And you can be doing something else and get a buzz on your telephone. Even for the listeners, and the market is all red, and Powell came out and Treasury yields horizon again. And so many people say, how do they know so fast what the price of the stock should be? What should Nike be after the Treasury is fast? Because it went to this price quick. How do they know? And once they put this model in their Excel spreadsheet, they can be as quick. How fast can Excel add and subtract?
Like in the blink of an eye.
Yeah, that's how fast they're going to know what the stock price is. And they can go reset, go in Robinhood, Webull, or where do your listeners get free stock at?
Webull, Robinhood, First Trade. Look in the description below and get yourself plenty of free stocks.
Okay.
Sorry, I had to take the opportunity.
Yeah. So they are able to go in and set the parameters up in their account, at the blink of an eye, and say, okay, I want to stop buying at 39 at 19. They can start taking control, and that's what this is about. I want people on my page that love stocks, understand them, so we can discuss and go to that next level of conversation. Nothing wrong with being a beginner, but don't stay a beginner.
Exactly. And, for some people, they stay beginners longer, and those are the people that don't apply themselves. And
that is expensive. How can they afford to stay down there? Man, I was learning. Oh, man, I don't even want to get into it. Go ahead with what you was about to say.
Well, Chris, what I was going to say, I don't think I'm going to finish saying what I'm going to say, because there's probably a good reason I was interrupted, and that's because what I was going to say was kind of rude. So, good thing that.
Well, we learned a lot about being rude to people on NVIS. So,
yeah.
We've gone to anger management. We've talked to Dr.
You
Phil.
You have to.
Man, I am not saying anything negative about anybody.
And that's why we're going to keep it positive here. But, folks, listen. Make sure you check that description. Again, you're going to want to get subscribed to Chris's channel, because you're going to find a lot of valuable content there. Content that's going to help you not only, with Fubo, but with other stocks by applying the same principles that you're going to learn on his channel. Now, I will go ahead and say this. Every Sunday, usually Chris is over here and we're recording a collab.
Except Mother's Day.
except Mother's Day.
I won't be here Mother's Day.
And I guess, should we tell them about tonight in case I get this edited and published in the next hour and something minutes?
Yeah.
Tonight's Saturday, guys. We tried to cheat you out of, yeah. Sorry.
I don't know if I'll be here tomorrow, but if I am, we can do the double up.
Yeah, but honestly, that's what happened. He didn't know if he was going to be here tomorrow, so we went ahead and we're going to record this tonight, and I was going to trick you guys and publish it tomorrow and be like, yeah, it's Sunday, but I didn't
get the old 2 for 1.
Yeah. I didn't have it in me to lie to you guys, so I went ahead and told you the truth. But the good news is you might get the old 2 for 1 if Chris decides to come back. So what I need you guys to do if you want him to come back is please get in the comment section and say, Chris, please come back on Sunday. And then we can talk more about Fubo. I know that we didn't drop any details about Fubo today. And that's because today was more about introducing you guys to Chris. If you want some details about Fubo, and Chris already has several videos out, I want you guys to come and watch those. If you're new to my channel, if you're not one of my regular Fubo subscribers, then you can easily go back, take a look at my Fubo playlist, and you'll find some content about Fubo there. All this should be enough to catch you up to where we're at today.
They may not need to come back. That's the risk of my series is once they get that model and the story of this Fubo, when I finish this series, they won't need anybody else. So I hope they stick around and listen to the story, because we cover all the articles and all the current events every day. Once we get a model built, we start telling the story, what's going on, the laws. They're getting into gambling. So it's a lot of legislation and, palm greasing going on behind the scenes. So we got into that today with NYSE and some of the political implications in Congress right now that's affecting that industry. So it's more to it than models. I like to tell the story, and I want them to stick around after they get the model, because really there is no need to go back to YouTube once you have your own model.
Yeah, but let me edit that part out and erase it so these guys don't know. I need the views and the subs. By the way, guys, with that being said, go ahead and sub if you're new here, because I could use your help in adding to my family of subscribers. So anyhow, guys, listen, we're going to go ahead and cut y'all loose, but if I don't see you here tomorrow, I'm going to be very disappointed. I may call your parents and tell them to ground you. So make sure you're here. Make sure you're here on time. I expect everybody to be on time. Well, actually, all this stuff is pre-recorded, so you're on time every time when you watch these videos, unless it's like a, earnings release party or something that we're discussing. But anyhow, guys, I thank you very much for sticking with me for such a long time. Our anniversary is coming up very soon, and hopefully some of you guys will give me flowers. But anyhow, don't forget to subscribe to Chris's channel. Don't forget to subscribe here if you're not. Don't forget to smash that like button, because it really helps us out. And we're going to continue to produce more content. I was going to say like this, but this was kind of like an intro thingy here, so I'm not going to say that. More content like the content that I normally produce. How about that? Yeah. While I have you here, I wanted to quickly tell you about the brand new First Trade app, available for mobile or PC. The platform will give you access to powerful and easy to use tools and allows you to trade with less restrictions, zero commissions, zero fees, and you can use the first link in the description below to download a free stock today without having to deposit any money. This will greatly help out the channel and is always appreciated. And now back to your regularly scheduled programming. Congrats, ladies and gentlemen, you've made it to the end of the video. If you like what you watched, make sure you subscribe, because I put out videos just like this one every single day. And please do me a favor and smash that like button if I helped you in any way, because it really goes a long way in helping the channel out and keeps me motivated to make videos every single day. Now, there's a lot of work involved, a lot of research, and a lot of time and effort into editing and putting these out daily for you guys. You can subscribe from your screen right now, or if you want to watch one of my other videos, I'm sure YouTube has some good content picked out for you on the left-hand side of your screen now. Thanks for sticking it out with me till the end, and I will see you guys in the next video.